You know, before I started detailing, I remember so vividly driving to school and looking at the other cars on the road, and I had this weird epiphany that, you know, no matter what kind of car you drove, whether it was a Mazda MPV or you had a new S-Class Mercedes, a car that was clean always looked new, and a car that was dirty always looked old. And that was like 6th grade, I realized that, and I just had that moment then of like, whenever I have a car, it's always gonna be clean. Because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to afford an expensive car or have a total junker, but you can always keep it clean. So I'm Jimbo, I drive this 2020 Land Cruiser 200 series, and yesterday we got it really dirty. So I'm a professional detailer. Been doing it since May of 2008, so that's going on 13 years now. I also do a lot of product testing, YouTube channel, podcasts, but everything revolves around the auto detailing space. That's my world. So keeping cars clean. Since 2008, I got married and had a few kids, 3 kids. And so as kind of my business evolved and then my lifestyle also evolved. And so we realized with our kids, we wanted to do adventures and give them experiences. So during the pandemic, we decided to start doing road trips to places we could go. We wanted to bring our dog, but we didn't have room and all that. And so as soon as we got home, the hunt was on for a new car that we could take on these adventures or these road trips. I guess I'm a Toyota fanboy. I've had a few Toyota trucks, started with a Toyota 4Runner. The Land Cruiser and Toyota specifically, if you've watched any Top Gear, you know that Toyotas are like the most indestructible car. And I was telling you yesterday when I had my Tundra before this one, I took it up to the mountains and we went through the snow, and it was like the first time I had like 4-wheel drive, and I was just like romping through the snow, and just that feeling of like, wow, this is like so attainable, and like this car is so capable. But I didn't like the Land Cruiser because it looked like a grandma car. And so that was my biggest reservation with it, of like, I don't want that. And so it took some convincing of my wife to show me that we could take a grandma car and actually turn it into like a rad dad mobile, right? Which is what I wanted. It has the camel interior, which is much different, right? But then also there's like so much chrome on the standard LC200, so we blacked it out. I kind of used the Heritage Edition as inspiration. And so when I got this, after we blacked it out, tinted the windows, put the front runner rack on the roof, I got the wheels and tires off the Tundra, and then I called the dealership and I said, hey, do you sell the Heritage Edition center caps? And they're like, yeah, they're like $15. I'm like, perfect. So I went and bought the center caps, took out the TRD Pro center caps, plopped those in, and it really made it a unique kind of one-off, but still stayed a little bit to my purist mindset with being off another Toyota. So I've lived by the beach my entire life, and I've never driven a car on the beach. So that in and of itself, kind of the start of yesterday, as we just pull right onto the beach, was in and of itself a crazy experience. Even, you know, living so close and never being able to do that, that was like an extreme pleasure. This car enables us to do these adventures, which part of the problem for me is that we get dirty, right? And then I gotta come back and I gotta clean it up and kind of reset everything back, and it drives me nuts until I do that. But the balance to that is that I get to see my kids and my wife and even myself out there exploring all these places that we wouldn't normally explore if we just had a regular car. There's a lot of heritage with the Land Cruisers of being like the ultimate overlanding car, the ultimate car that is indestructible. And so going through the dunes yesterday kind of proved that as long as the driver is capable, the car is more than capable. And so the driver still needs a little bit of work, but the car is more than capable to kind of tackle really anything you throw at it. I guess I had zero expectations of what to even expect. And yesterday, just kind of being there, it was insane, you know, just to experience that. And then you're right by the beach. And so to kind of have, again, this balance of both of those things, of like these extreme dunes, but then the beach right there as well, it was just incredible. I'm a creature of habit and also someone who likes to stay in my comfort zone and in my bubble. So everything about this car, from changing its appearance and getting away from that purist that kind of puts me outside my comfort zone, it being kind of an overlanding vehicle when I don't have much experience doing that is a little bit outside my comfort zone. And then adventures are outside my comfort zone. So I'm constantly outside my comfort zone in this. And yesterday was no exception of just being like so far outside my comfort zone. But I think that's important because it kind of puts perspective on everything. And I realized that a lot of fun happens outside your comfort zone, and that's what happened yesterday. There's a ton of risk from spilling over the edge into a bowl and having to correct, and a ton of risk involved. But when you step back and get out of that situation and kind of reflect, you realize how much fun you had, and then it kind of snowballs into the next adventure, and you're a little bit more confident, a little more willing, a little more able. Well, when you're up on dunes, you need to be able to see the cliff below. And so if you have junk on your windshield that's obstructing your view, you may miss that critical cliff, which you don't want to miss the critical cliff, right? Especially for a not seasoned driver like myself. So having a clear vision and a clear path of what I could see in front of me was like of the utmost importance. Using a bunch of trigger spray products, you could really get tired of like pumping the spray. So what's really cool about the interior mist product is that one trigger pull goes for, I don't know, a couple seconds, right? So you can really do one or two trigger pulls and get the whole windshield covered. And so you can really limit your trigger pulls and get more product. Even though it's very therapeutic and car cleaning is very cool, spending all day on it is just wearing, and then you won't want to do it often, right? And so that's what it all comes down to, is I want to keep it clean, but then I want to go get it dirty and be able to get it right back to where we started, kind of like that reset like I talked about. So I need products that are easy, efficient, and deliver on a great result. Obviously, Seal and Shine is a product that I'm pretty well known for testing and torture testing and talking about and testing over and over and over for its durability and all its awesome properties. I got the kids in the back like, more daddy, faster dad, like more water. They love when the water was just covering the whole car, and then we get up to the dunes where it's a little bit warmer and all I see is these like little like saltwater stains, and I'm like, man, that sucks. And then I remember like, no worries, we have a good barrier protection between the elements and the paint below. We're gonna be able to clean it up. It's critically important that you get this off the car and kind of get it re-protected. We're gonna make sure we get all the salt off, all the sand and all the junk that got kicked up and who knows what is on it. We're gonna clean all that off, which is gonna be easier thanks to what we did before, making sure it was clean and protected. But we're also gonna re-protect it for our next adventure. So our next adventure is coming up this weekend, right? So we're home for a few days and then we're right back up to Yosemite and Bass Lake on another adventure with the family and the dog.